A lot of us don't believe that we can achieve the impossible.
The only thing that's holding you back, holding me back, holding your friends and family back is a lack of belief.
One of the interesting things about being an inventor is you don't go to school for it. There isn't an inventor class. You can't major in inventing.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there is something greater inside you as well. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from David Goggins. Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. It's free. The links to join are in the description below.
You will never learn from people if we always tap dance around the truth. Everything I didn't want to do is what got me to where I'm at today. As you know, I'm a serious introvert and very afraid of people. I got judged so much growing up that this is uncomfortable for me. All these podcasts, that's why I post once a week.
Yeah.
I don't, people are ugly, people are nasty. They make me want to choke the shit out of them. And they're just nasty people. So I stay away from them. But the one thing I realized why I wrote the book is, honestly, I have a story to tell, as we all have a story to tell. And what I realized on my journey was a lot of us don't believe that we can achieve the impossible. And along my journey, I started realizing, man, I got to tell some people about this, man. Like, I discovered something that some people have, but they don't even know. All of us have it. But along this way, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't a theorist. I became a practitioner. And I was like, my God, I'm busting down so many barriers of, like, I have a learning disability. Okay, but I'm catching up with everybody. I figured that out. I figured out all these negative things in my life that were keeping me in this hole. I'm like, I gotta tell people, man, that, hang on a second, man. You can achieve the absolute impossible.
Your biggest problem is a lack of belief. The only thing that's holding you back, holding me back, holding your friends and family back is a lack of belief. It is the world's biggest problem, and that's why I created these YouTube channels. I've seen the impact, not just on the people around me, but myself, firsthand, the value of having my own channel. In the work that I do, I make it selfishly for myself so that I learn, that I get better, that I grow, that I challenge myself. And it's often hard to see it on a day-to-day basis. You may not feel a lot more confident, have a lot more belief from one day to the next. You might have some big win, you might take on some big challenge, and then you feel good about yourself, but then you fall back down the next day. And you don't see that that's actually a win because the win that you had was so small. The growth that you had was so tiny that on a day-to-day basis, you can't see it. That's the problem. But if you consistently are doing the things like watching this channel or consuming a podcast or reading a book or hanging around people who are better than you, who have more belief than you, who are growing and pushing, that inspire you, if you're around that every single day, and you look back on your life, you look back in the past X number of months, you'll see how much you've grown. You just will. I've seen it in my own business. Go back and look at my old content. I started a new series on my other channel where it's old Evan versus new Evan. And the first video we did was 2016 Evan versus 2019 Evan. And what do you think? And you may not see that big a difference in me from last week's video to this week's video, or yesterday's espresso to today's espresso. But when you go back 3 years, see, it doesn't even look like the same person. Go back 10 years, go back and watch my first videos. Go back and watch the first videos. The content was still good, the message was still good, but the delivery, the execution sucked because I didn't know what I was doing, because I didn't have a lot of belief. And I'm still trying to chase the next level. You know, I've grown in belief, but I'm never done. The thing that's holding me back, it's still belief. It's belief in the ability to get to the next step. Because as you expand your comfort zone, there's still other things that are outside your comfort zone. You don't want to ever get to the point where you're not growing, where there's not something outside your comfort zone. But then everything inside becomes easy, right? What used to scare you now is super easy. Now isn't a problem anymore. And so you can see it in my growth. If you go back 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 6 months ago, you can see the growth and progression. And I want that for all of you too. How did I do it? It's practice, it's repetition, but it's bringing in. I've got Steve Jobs in my ear, and Kanye West in my ear, and Elon Musk, and Oprah Winfrey, and David Goggins in my ear every day. And if you're around that every single day, you can't help but grow. You can't help but grow. Even if you have toxic people around you, parents who don't support you, friends who say you're never gonna make it. If you have all this negativity around you, but you've got something in your environment every single day that's pushing you forward, I guarantee you, you're gonna grow. I think that lack of belief is the world's biggest problem, because I think everybody has Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are Michael Jordan, the best in the world at something. You are at something, just maybe not the thing you're doing right now. And that's the problem. Most people are doing the wrong thing. Whatever you think the world's biggest problem is, pollution, cancer, whatever it is, I think the woman who solves cancer is now working as a manager at some company, and she hates her life, instead of taking a chance on biology and studying to become a doctor because somebody told her that she couldn't do it, or she told herself that she couldn't do it. She didn't have the belief. I think that's the world's biggest problem. If we allowed everybody to discover their Michael Jordan level talents, abilities, and then believe in themselves enough to chase it down, holy cow, what a beautiful world that's gonna be. And that's why I wake up every day trying to go and tackle. So how do you create more belief for yourself? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is create an environment of excellence. You are a product of your environment. Your environment has been perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are. It is. Now you just maybe haven't done it with intention. That's a problem for most people, right? I've created this environment that I'm in right now with intention. The people behind me on the wall, they're there for intention. Every person tells a story that reminds me every time I walk into my office and look at them. They may not mean anything to you, but to me it means a lot. Having this bag of Doritos, I want to eat this bag of Doritos right now. It looks so good. Damn the Doritos, right? I have it here as a reminder to myself that I'm stronger than the Doritos. And I have it in front of me all day long. There it is, right there. Damn the Doritos. What's the thing that makes you come alive? What's an environment of excellence for you? And yes, maybe your ideal is you want to be at $10,000 a night hotels and flying helicopters and this expensive lifestyle. Okay, great. You can't do that yet. Probably. Awesome. What's a small version of it? What's a small version of it? Even if you got all this negativity around you and people and all this stuff, hitting you that says you can't do it. Great. Carve out this space for yourself. Carve out that environment of excellence, whether it's in your car, your home, your bedroom, your office, wherever you're spending time. Environment of excellence matters. Because what's beautiful about all this stuff here is you set it up once. I set it up once with intention. What makes me feel believe? This makes me feel believe. I set it up once with intention. And then every day I walk in and I feel believe looking at this stuff. That's what you need to do as well. Create an environment of excellence for yourself. Step number 2 is 254s. So in almost every video, I talk about a 254. What is it? For those of you who are on the 254s, it's been amazing seeing the growth. The idea basically is every day for 254 days, I send you a video that is free around a certain topic. So we've done it for writers, we've done it for self-love, we've done it for confidence, we've done it for women entrepreneurs, we've done it for lots of different categories. Ultimately, I want to have 1,000 different ones of these. And what happens is, if you're a writer, you sign up for the Writer's Wisdom. Every day you get a video from a writer with an inspirational message. And it forces you to have that writer and that knowledge and that motivation and that mindset seep into you every day. Just watch the video. Why 254 days? Because it takes between 18 and 254 days of consecutive action to build a habit. And so even if you're the slowest learner of all time, I'm still with you every step of the way. Now, you don't have to do mine. Create your own. If you do something consistently every day, you will find that you change. And that's not just mindset, that's not just belief systems, that's anything, right? If you work out every day for 254 days, you're gonna see some results, right? Hopefully a lot sooner. But what's the belief that you want? Do you wanna have more confidence? Do you wanna believe in yourself more? Like, what's the thing that you want desperately in your life? And then create your own 254. If I haven't done one for you, create your own and surround yourself with it every single day. And it's this little micro injection. I'm doing my allergy shots right now. I've had seasonal allergies for, a long time. And the doctor said, hey, we can do these little injections every week so that over time, you go for almost a year and then you're not allergic to the thing anymore. So I'm allergic to grass and trees, and they inject a little bit of grass and trees into my bloodstream every week. And they strengthen the dose every week. And so now when I'm going out, it doesn't impact me as much, right? And after a year, you're good. And so that same approach applies to mindset and belief systems and personal development. Although you're never good, you're always continue to grow. But that little bit of injection every single day, every single day, every single day, again, you won't see major growth from day to day. But when you look back, you'll see huge growth over X number of weeks or months. And that leads me to step number 3, which is the 6-month test. I would try to find somebody who you haven't seen in 6 months, or make a video of yourself now and then make another one in 6 months and look back so that you can see the growth, because we massively underestimate what we can do in a long period of time and overestimate what we can do in a short amount of time. So you'll work like crazy one day and try to get so much done, and then if you then slack off for the rest of the week, you're not going to have major growth. But if every single day you're doing the thing, you'll notice that you have major growth. And so find someone who you haven't seen for 6 months. If you've been going on this journey and you've been learning and investing in yourself and surrounding yourself with content and videos and books and podcasts that lift you up, that make you feel better every single day, find someone who you haven't seen in 6 months and then talk to them and see if they tell you that you've changed. Or record yourself on camera right now, make a video to yourself and then do something every day for 6 months. And then come back and watch that video again and see how much you've grown. It'll be mind-blowing. It'll be mind-blowing how much you can grow. We're just not giving enough credit to the daily, tiny little incremental changes that we're making. And so take the 6-month test and impress yourself. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know, how have you grown in the past 6 months? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video and you're going to take some immediate action after watching it, give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
You famously started Spanx with $5,000 in your bank account. What was the hardest part about getting Spanx off the ground?
The hardest part about getting Spanx off the ground was definitely in the very beginning, when you first have an idea as an inventor and you've thought of something that doesn't exist and you want to bring it into the world. There were 2 things that were happening. One was my own self-doubt was a really hard part of the journey. And then the beginning of all the manufacturers that I was having to cold call and talk to try to get my product made were all men. And it was much harder to explain and to try to get them to understand the concept of what the product was. So I heard the word no for 2 straight years trying to get it made, which then increases the self-doubt that can happen. And one of the interesting things about being an inventor is you don't go to school for it. There isn't an inventor class. You can't major in inventing. And so it's really a belief system in yourself and the willingness to look stupid or to have people laugh at you or to fail at something that you believe in. You're your own gut check on that. And so it takes a lot of confidence. So that was the hardest part of my journey. There was a lot of starting and stopping and like, am I crazy? And everyone's saying no. But I kept picking myself back up to pursue it.
A few months ago when we were working on, I signed a deal for a TV show a few weeks ago, and they were doing research, and we discovered that where I lived in 1972 on 27th and Lexington, when I first went to Wall Street, it's now been torn down. We used to call the building the Bed Bug. Probably some of you live in the Bed Bug now. And then 12 years later, I was living in the castle. 12 years. Yes. Was a castle on my affirmations? Yes. Was a castle on my goals? Yes. Was a castle in my prayers? Yes. But I thought the castle was going to have a moat and have all kind of neat stuff. It doesn't have a moat, but it's a pretty neat place for those of you that have looked at it in Google. Because I continue to believe. I continue to believe. So I've gone from the barrio, that's where my house used to be, behind that chain link fence, and you can see between me and that brick wall isn't very much space. We had an 800 square foot house. I think that's 75 square meter house. Even some of you probably live in bigger houses than that. And of course, there I am with my lovely wife on my 75th birthday. I needed a new Rolls Royce like I needed AIDS. So what did my wife give me for my 75th birthday? A Rolls just like the Queen has. So when we drive by, I go, just like she does.
If you want to know how David Goggins takes accountability for his life, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
I don't care what you believe in, but on earth, it's a very lonely journey. And it starts with the accountability mirror, looking at saying, hey, my dad who beat the hell out of me is not coming back. All these things are coming back. I have to face myself.